Alright, this here is the HappyCabbie, and today we're going to show you how to make a birthday cake balloon. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 6 yellow balloons, and what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 bubbles, twist them together, and push the knot through, and I'll show you a close-up of that, what that looks like right there. And like I said, you just twist the bubbles around, tuck the knot through, and there you go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start off and we're going to make a bubble about 6 inches long. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a wide birthday cake. Now, if you wanted to make a birthday cake that you would use for a hat, you would make perhaps maybe a 5-inch bubble or maybe a 4-inch bubble if you're doing it for a child. But here we're making a wide one, so it's going to be big. You can also use your finger and thumb as a measurement. That way you make sure that all the bubbles are the same size. And of course this does take a little bit of a practice. If you're making the cake for the first time, it's more than likely going to come uneven. And the reason why that is because your bubbles were different sizes. Okay, but again, if you use the constant of the finger and the thumb fully stretched out, it's real... You know, as far as you can stretch your finger and thumb apart from each other, that is a really good measuring tool to practice with. And then, of course, once you get better at making birthday cakes, you can actually make birthday cakes a little bit smaller, therefore you can fit them in size for the head. And if you ever lose track of which bubble you want to use to attach the next one with, just attach the two yellow balloons next to each other. Whichever one is longer, that's the next one you twist. And once you get them all in there, you attach the twist, and then you attach it to the first bubble, and there we go. Now we have our little hexagon right here. Okay, this is what we have so far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze off a very small bubble, probably about maybe the size of a quarter. Of course, a quarter in American dollars. I realize that I do have an international audience, so I would say, maybe half an inch or maybe a couple centimeters. Alright. Then we just wrap it around one bubble. Now we're actually going to stand up and do a little bit of close-up here. So therefore, you guys who are beginning can actually see what I'm doing. You can also use this same design as a basket. If you wanted to do a flower basket, this works very well. And you don't even need to put a bottom in the flower basket either. Basically, if you just put enough, like this one right here will probably hold a dozen balloon flowers. And if you stuff a dozen balloon flowers in there, it'll actually be packed tight enough where you don't even need to have a bottom of these things. But here we're making a birthday cake. You can also use this thing to make a hat. For example, those of you that saw the top hat tutorial, it's very similar design. And also want to point out that my good buddy Flower Clown has another design of a birthday cake. So I'm going to be posting a link up there to where you can check that out. So make sure you check his out, check mine out. You know, therefore you have the ability to learn from several different teachers, and that is the best way that you can become the best at balloons. Alright, now this cake right here is going to be about 4 balloons high. If you wanted it to make it taller, you could just add in more balloons. And once again, also, if you make the, instead of the 6-inch bubbles, you make them 5-inch bubbles, you might be able to get the layers 4 balloons high. I mean, the 5 balloons high. So, it all depends on how wide or how tall you want it. Okay, and once again, most important that you squeeze the balloons as you're twisting them. The other thing that you want to do is get a hold of some top quality balloons. The brand that I'm using here is called Qualitex, and there's a link over to the side where you can order them from tmyers.com, which is a great balloon site. And they sell balloons pretty close to wholesale prices, and just about the cheapest place to buy balloons. And just have them order ground shipping. You can get them within a couple of days. If you're using the stuff that you get from the party store and your balloons are popping, once you start using the professional grade of balloons, you'll be amazed at the difference. You really will be. Okay, so here we go. It's pretty much finished right there. Now what we're doing is we're taking the ends and we are taking two bubbles, twisting them together, and then cutting off the excess, and like we did at the beginning, pushing the knot through the two bubbles to lock it in place. And then of course kind of tuck the knots underneath to hide them from view. All in all, this balloon right here, it can be made in about 15 minutes. You know, it's really not something that you'd want to do for, like, say, a restaurant, you know, where you're working for tips, because then everybody's going to want one and they're only going to give you like a couple of dollars. So, but this is something that you want to do, like, say if you're hired to do a birthday party, you come with this balloon already made. You have it perhaps maybe in a box with some wrapping. When the child takes it out, you know, this is a nice little thing that he can put on his dresser. Can you make it small enough for the child's head? You can. It's just that small children, I have found, usually do not like wearing balloon hats. Of course, your experiences may be different, but I've been doing this for several years, and the kids that I've worked with, they do not like things on their head. So, but this works great, you know, for just have something sit on somebody's desk. Now we're going to use the green balloons to make the frosting. And this is really cool. So what we're going to do, and you want to make sure that you squeeze the balloons as well. I'm actually going to leave in this mistake right here, just so I can show you how to correct it. The bubbles I mismeasured, and as you can see, they are now kind of sticking up out of the top. So what you want to do is you want to have the balloons be short enough where they're kind of pulling the ends of the hexagon in towards itself. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. And the thing will still pinch up, kind of like a little angle, but not as much. You see how much better that looks? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to graft in the other two balloons. And this here, if you were to pop a balloon, this would probably be where you would do it. And once again, this is another reason why you want to use the top quality stuff, because it's tucking under and through. Yeah, it's the cheap balloons don't hold up to this kind of abuse too well. But the Qualitex, oh yeah, you can do just about anything with them. In fact, I've even got a video where I actually take a balloon dog, throw it on the floor, and I stand on it. So the Qualitex, they are really strong balloons. If you squeeze them, you know, squeeze them in the middle, make them soft and squeezable, they're good to go. Alright. Now we're adding in the third balloon. And the ends that you see right over there, what we're going to do is we're going to make a string of bubbles, and that's going to be the edging of our frosting. And then of course we'll be adding in a candle later on. Okay. There we go, it is just about done. Now what we're going to do is, for this design, we're going to make 5 bubbles. If your balloon cake is a lot smaller, then of course you just want to make maybe 4 bubbles or 3 bubbles, depending on how big yours is. But you want it to be enough where you can reach to the other bubble. So for this one right here, it is 5 bubbles. And we just continue making bubbles till we reach the end. And with the other 3 bubbles in here, you should be able to make bubbles all the way across. If you run out of balloon and you just need some more, you can just add in another balloon. It's perfectly fine. Or if you like, you can cut those green balloons off and you can have the frosting be actually 2 colors. You could do that as well. Now, a lot of times I like to use white for my balloon cakes. The only reason why I'm using yellow is because white does not show up very well on camera. There are 2 colors that the camera really hates, and that is white and yellow. White and red. I'm so sorry. So, for example, if you're using a lot of red and yellow, it's going to distort the picture somewhat. So that's the reason why I'm using yellow. But most of the time on my cakes I use white. And my favorite kind of frosting that I like to use is either the yellow frosting or the red frosting. Okay, this is what we have so far. And like I said, yours may be kind of lopsided. What you gotta do is you just gotta work on the bubbles. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a candle. This is an orange balloon. And we're going to hold the knot, and we're basically going to squeeze the balloon and wrap the tail around my thumbs. And then we're going to hold on right there, let a little bit of air out, tie into a knot, and there we go. Now we're actually leaving a little bit of a tail on the balloon, so the knot is not right next to the air. The knot is actually further a little bit down, and that is because we're going to be doing what's called a tulip twist. Now, if you've never done a tulip twist before, there is a tutorial on my balloon playlist. And you can see right there, or here it is for you right here. Basically, we push it in, we grab hold of the knot, twist the balloon around, and then we kind of push the tail of the balloon back up into the bubble. That kind of secures it in place. Now, if this is a little bit too tricky for you, just do a couple of pinch twists and attach the orange balloon to that, and that will be just fine for your candle. Okay, now you want to make sure that you have a kind of a soft bubble there in your candle, otherwise you might pop a balloon, and you just kind of wiggle it in until it's right there, and there you go. Thank you for watching.